right back, Charlie. Definitely.
Because you always use that active red line defending. I think it's like. Because you always use that active red line defending. I think it's like. Because you always use that active red line defending. I think it's like. Because you always use that active red line defending. I think it's like.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, man. Come on.
As Ian Wright just said there, people deluded, I'm back again. Appreciative of you lot being tuned in each and every time. Twitch gang, one love. If you're on YouTube, please make sure you're commenting, you're subscribing, you're smashing the like button, not only on this video, but also at 7:50. It's a Milan derby. It's AC Milan against Inter. It's the first leg of the semi-finals of the Champions League between them two sides. Appreciative to everyone who was at my watch along, where obviously we watched Real Madrid City. What a game that was. 2 cracking goals, firstly by Vinicius Jr. and then Kevin De Bruyne. So it's all to play for at the Etihad or Emptyhad, whatever you want to refer to it as. Don't know why it's this background. I prefer the training ground or changing room. But yeah, man, love the intro tune. Love that you love it. DG, you need to chat to your guy, Gooner Lee, man, compared Lokonga to Zubamendi. I don't know why Lee done that. Bro, I don't know what Lee's on there. You're going to have to take that up with Lee. I don't know what he's on. I don't know the context. I can only be accountable for what I'm saying. Still, 120 million is way too expensive for Rice, of course. You know, most expensive Rice in the world, really and truly, if you're completely honest with yourself. Imperfect, fitting name because I see a Spurs badge. But nonetheless, hello, right back at you, dude. Hope you're doing well and safe. So yeah, any comments, thoughts, opinions, feel no sort of way. Obviously, let's actually just look at the news early doors. Morning, DG, when you're going to get Uncle Ian on the show? I mean, Uncle Ian just was nice enough to do that video. I don't know if it's not my brethren. Like, bro, if I could, I would. It's like people, my friends think this as well. You think you can just make cool. People think I'm a magic man. Like, I can make bare things happen. And it's always, oh, why don't you get the Arsenal fans to do this or protest this? What can I do, bro? I'm just a humble guy making YouTube videos, man. Would love to. But Myth, big up DG. We saying, how's your day been? It's literally just started in the United Kingdom. It's 1:05. Standard, man, replied to emails, got emails out there, listened to some motivational podcasts, got the watch along sorted. Standard there at the office. Appreciate you for asking, man. You know, it's boiling in the United Kingdom. I'm boiling in this jacket. A bit sore because I went gym yesterday, and day before that would have been Monday. We went out, and Sunday played football. So body's on the line, man. Bless up yourself, Raymond. DG, if West Ham price Rice out of a move, should we maybe target a more creative 8 to have to play a Odegaard? We need an 8, we need a 6 in it. So we need a creative midfielder in terms of that 8 position, and we need a combative figure. So the dynamics shouldn't shift in a sense of, cool, you can't get Declan Rice. I'm sure the club, in the same way we're linked with many a different profile of wide men, you know, from last summer till now, you know, Diaby, Rafinha, Zaha, Fogando Torres, Ferran Torres, so many a name, really and truly. So there has to be different ones, whether they're emerging talents, guys right now that can impact and affect it, or it's the lesser known entities. You know, there has to be a bunch of 8s and 6s. So go all after Lavia, go all after Zubamendi, do what you can for Declan Rice and whoever, Onana, whoever. But make sure them positions are addressed, really and truly. I think we need the best of both worlds. I know Xhaka is linked with a move away, but we need Xhaka and Partey. We also need 2 midfielders that are going to be the long-term heirs to their throne. And obviously, you've got the El Nenes, obviously better than him, but Jorginho, these kind of players in and around the squad, really. I don't blame West Ham for trying to get the highest price, you know, really and truly. They're trying to spark a bidding war, whether he ends up at Arsenal or Man United or wherever the man goes. He's linked with a new club every day. They just want to drive the price up, and they'll have to probably calm it down as the window goes on because they're affecting their own transfer plans, really and truly. The quicker you sell Declan Rice, the quicker you can reinvest that money and keep it moving, because I'm sure West Ham and their fans don't want to be having the season they had this year where they're not going down, but they've survived. Hey, big up yourself, S, man. And you're right, Manu Kone is another one I love the look of, man, the Gladbach midfielder. He's linked with Paris Saint-Germain, but that's another one. And there's if you can get them, if you can get household names, great. If you can get unknown entities, great. Just again, make sure midfield is addressed come the start of next season. We haven't got games to play around. We're going to live or die by midfield, to the point where I don't believe we're going to get to a certain level defensively or offensively without addressing the midfield. And I don't say that as a disrespect to Xhaka or Partey. We're just missing a trick. And I said it yesterday. You look at Arsenal's midfield, that's the one area where there's question marks, really, in terms of longevity and not so much ability necessarily. The one guy you look at in Lokonga, he's got years in the tank to be a professional footballer and for this club. But in terms of ability, we don't know if you're good enough. We need to make that not the case. You look at our defensive options. You look at our forward-thinking options. Apart from Trossard, and Trossard's only 28 as well. They're all on the right side of 20. So have to get it done. Thuram's welcome, not his brother though. I don't really rate the older brother, the striker, man. I think he's rubbish, if I'm honest with you. But what do I know? At the end of the day, he's played at a World Cup. If I'm harsh, maybe that's why France didn't do what they needed to do. So we'll have to see, man. Hopefully, again, all I want is the areas of our squad to be addressed, man. We're missing a trick. If we rock up, even certain things that have worked for us this season, if we rock up into the Champions League or next year with certain things, we're going to learn the hard way, really and truly. It's going to be peak. What's good, Jaden? I hope you're doing well and safe. Keep your thoughts coming. Smash the like button. Don't forget to also smash the like button on the watch along for the Champions League. But let's start with the news, people. What have we got to see here? Aaron Ramsdale is set to be rewarded with a new long-term contract after impressive displays this season, with Mikel Arteta delighted with his brilliant progress since joining for 24 million from Sheffield United in 2021. Aaron Ramsdale's become a fan favourite since his arrival at the club in that year. He has 13 Premier League clean sheets this season, behind only De Gea's 15. It's quite crazy, really and truly, if you're completely honest. Arsenal are set to give Aaron Ramsdale a new long-term contract as a reward for a series of fine displays. Allegedly, the club are keen to mark that with an increase on his current 60 grand a week deal. I mean, surely doubles it at the very least, man. It is what it is. Ramsdale, I can't believe you've only got 3 caps, my guy. Ramsdale, who has 3 caps, has become a firm fan favourite, winning over supporters who had questioned the wisdom of his 24 million signing from Sheffield United in 2021. Hey, not all of us did that. He had a great game against Newcastle, like you know. And you can imagine this, you know, you'd imagine the Benjamin Whites, the Odegaards of this world are going to follow what we hope, Saliba as well, and going to follow Saka and Martinelli in committing their futures. You'd imagine Mikel Arteta is going to get a new deal. Granit Xhaka is contracted until 2024 with the option of another year. Now, this week he's been linked with leaving. The week before he's linked with a new deal. Partey is contracted until 2025. Decision has to be made. We clearly already know what the fate is for the guys that contracts run out at the end of the season. We hope Nelson stays. Ainsley's done. There's maybe some others. 2024, the Pepes, the Cedrics. Marie's already gone. The writing's on the wall. 2025 is now, you know, in the next 12 to 18 months where we're gearing up, man. DG, would you take back Lacazette? Nope. 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 Big up Lacazette, though. It's been a big jump for him from where he was to play at a club like Arsenal with the standards that are required, but he has really improved in every aspect. I'm really pleased with him. Again, Saka is set to also sign a new deal, people, and Arsenal are also pushing to tie down William Saliba. And I can't imagine you don't know, but on Sunday we play Brighton at home, people. And on that, don't forget, people, it's Champions League business this evening. One love to the 2 people, including myself. If hit the like button. Good morning, right back at you, mate. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Again, we're pushing that. But of course, we're live, my guy. But carrying on this sort of theme, people, again, focusing a bit on Bukayo Saka. Arsenal hope to announce new contract for Bukayo Saka before the end of the season, with agreement all but reached with the winger and promotional footage having already been filmed. That's great. So has he signed on the dotted line? It'd be nice, you know, especially it would be a good sobering tonic, especially if what happens in that we miss out on the league title. the quicker it's confirmed to us fans, Saka has signed a new deal, the better. He's got he's hit 13 goals and got 11 assists, people. He's even better last season. Saka deserves all the pennies he's getting poster boy for Arsenal. Talks with Arsenal over fresh terms have stretched back to last summer, with Saka saying in August he shared confidence with Arteta that he would extend his deal at the Emirates Stadium. It's understood an agreement has all but been reached for a new contract for the academy graduate, whose last deal was signed in the summer of 2020 and expires next year. It's believed promotional footage to be released alongside the announcement has already been completed, and it's a matter of working through the finer details before the deal is finalised. While Saka is close to committing his long-term future to Arsenal, Granit Xhaka could be on the move this summer. It's understood the club would be willing to let the Switzerland captain, whose deal also expires in 2024, move on if they receive an offer they deem acceptable. And again, what would you deem acceptable? Because he's 29, turning 30. You're not going to get back what you spent for Gladbach. He's probably on healthier wages than he was at his last club. He's durable, which I think is a very underrated aspect, especially in modern football, for a team like Arsenal and people better than us that are aspiring to it to challenge and win everything. Xhaka is rarely injured, and has been almost rarely injured, really. It's for whatever reason, he's barely injured. Yes, he looks a bit better now under Mikel Arteta than previously, but there's got to be a reason. Mikel Arteta, for all his plaudits, someone that's done what they're doing in the game in Arsene Wenger, Unai Emery with what he's given in the game, they've all used him. He's a vital lad, really and truly. There are some rumours, again, happy wife, happy life, and that allegedly his wife wants to return back to Germany, and if that's what's going to happen, then he's going to have to make it happen, people. This article is basically, again, Google Translate is not helping us, but for what it's worth, why Bayern has a good chance at Xhaka. They did try last summer. His contract is running down with the option of another year. We are in the Champions League. I think we need to hold on to Xhaka. If he wants to leave, do what you're doing. Will Granit Xhaka be the next six for Leverkusen coach Xabi Alonso? One thing is clear. Bayern want to sign the 30-year-old Swiss international from Arsenal, and the factory club actually has good cards with the former Gladbacher. A report in the Mirror is corrected that Bayern Leverkusen are making intensive efforts to sign Xhaka for the coming season. Xhaka would be the real six Bayern Leverkusen was looking for: a leader, a poisonous, strong tackle strategist with precise passing and a great will to win, who can also occupy the position in front of the defense alone. I'm not too sure about that one there, but maybe Bundesliga tax. For the Swiss, who is tied to Arsenal until 2024, the Bundesliga club would have to transfer a transfer fee of around 15 million euros to the second place Premier League team. For this sum, the club would be willing to let the regular player go in the summer. I mean, 15 million is a bit cheap. You might as well keep Xhaka, in my opinion. But if they don't want to take out the extension in his deal, then I understand letting him go. But, every little helps. But Granit Xhaka isn't, that 50 million isn't going to do much for us. I think we should keep Xhaka, really, if I'm honest with you. We need to do what we did in the Prem and go better next year. We need his experience in the Premier League. You see how he's one of Arteta's lieutenants along with Odegaard and Jorginho. If the man wants to leave for family reasons, why not? But, the fans adore you. The manager loves you. The coaching staff and the playing staff love what you're doing. Prior to this article, you looked really comfortable in London. Who knows what's going to happen, really? And we're back in the Champions League, which there's a correlation from when you joined us. We went out of it and we're finally back. Bayern Leverkusen, I don't know where they are in the table, but they've had a bit of a wobble, really and truly. So I don't know if it makes sense. I mean, if Granit Xhaka, based on that 15 million, and Moussa Diaby is an alleged target of Arsenal and he's quoted to be 50 million euros, if that knocks off 15 million and makes it 35 million euros, then fair enough, innit? They did try to get him last year, and I'm sure a move appeals back to Germany for Granit. This means that the financial framework for a transfer is very different from the summer of 2022. Bayern was already trying to lure the former Gladbacher under the Bayern cross, but the 30 million euros that the Londoners called for now, 30 destroyed the project. We almost sold you for peanuts to Hertha Berlin. He was close to going to Roma, allegedly. Of course, there are no economic reasons why Bayern is trying to become a permanent fixture in the top club in the Premier League, whatever that means, and can even calculate that has a good chance of winning Xhaka's contract. Rather, Xhaka's private situation plays into the hands of the Leverkusen team. His wife, who Xhaka met during his time at Borussia in Mönchengladbach, has been wanting to return to Rhineland for a long time. This could see Xhaka, who joined London, I think Arsenal in 2016 for 45 million euros, actually return to the Bundesliga. Fair enough. If your family's not comfortable, I'm pretty sure your kids were born in London, but if your family's not comfortable doing what you're doing, and you've been gone for 7 years, so I don't want Xhaka to go, if I'm completely honest with you. At least if we fast forward a year from now, we assume Arsenal either win the Premier League or come second again, and We've improved what we need to improve, and the new players have bedded in. Fair enough, go in it. You know, if Fabio Vieira looked like the 8 that we need him to be, you know, if we bring in an 8, if we groom Odegaard into that role, if we bring in the Caicedos of this world with an extra year's experience, you're allowed to go. Because really, as much as I like Xhaka, I shouldn't be wanting you to stay this much. You're not that guy like that, but I think you need to stay, if I'm honest with you. I don't think it's FIFA where we now are in the Champions League. You get rid of several players and then you bring in several more. It's a massive turnover. We need to be a bit cute and clever. Now, of course, in the next 15, 18 months, you probably will see Xhaka and Partey's role in the team diminished, really and truly. And because you look at our midfield, once again, Xhaka, Partey, Jorginho, El Nene, they're all of that similar age where there isn't much years in the tank, essentially. So, I don't know. Like I said, last week it was he was going to sign a new deal. This week he wants to leave and his wife's not happy and all of this jazz. I don't know. Apparently he's told Arsenal teammates he's keen on a Bundesliga transfer. He's admitted to his teammates that he's keen on a return to Germany. I'm not too sure about this. He's got 14 months with the option of another year remaining. Apparently, Bayer Leverkusen have made their interest known in Xhaka, and Goal say he's told teammates he'd like to return to Germany. The Bundesliga club would rather wait until 2024 before agreeing a pre-contract agreement with Xhaka rather than putting up a fee for him this summer. And that's a bit like us last year with Telemans, really. And maybe some clubs where you look at potentially Declan Rice and potentially Milinković-Savić, where your contract's running down, we're going to have to give you however much grand a week. We're going to have to give them a multi-million pound transfer deal when we can talk to you in a couple of months for free. I don't know if they'll do that. Arsenal have a contract, a year extension in his clause. You know, from a business point of view, you invoke that. And then in January or next summer, if you want to leave, we get a cut price thing. Arteta wants to keep Xhaka as he values his leadership and flexibility in midfield. A couple of our players linked with moves away. You know, I think Arteta wants to keep Balogun. Balogun wants to go get first-team football. Arsenal would like to keep Charlie Patino. He wants to advance in his career, allegedly. Granit Xhaka, Arsenal would want to keep you. But if you say, Gaffer, you know, I want to go back to Germany, keep it moving. We clearly need to keep Kieran Tierney, and I think we would want to keep Kieran Tierney. But if he wants to cut out, he's going to cut out as well, isn't he, really and truly? So it is what it is in that regards, essentially. Ramsdale is England's best keeper. Southgate should wake up and see the light. Imagine the distribution from Ramsdale to Trippier, Stones, Chilwell, Rice, all players who can play under pressure. I still think we are winning the league. No way are City going to go unbeaten until the end of the season. It's not happening. I would love to. I hope that happens, my guy. But we need to make sure we beat Brighton, Wolves, and Nottingham Forest. We're at their mercy. It's in their hands, really and truly. If they don't win the champs, they're going to win the Prem. I think they'll do at least a double. Whether that's the FA Cup and the Prem, the champs in the Prem, all three of them. But, you know, where Man United, Arsenal, Real Madrid are concerned, all the three, well, not even Arsenal because it's out of our hands. You would like all three clubs to kind of ruin their party. We've left it too late, man. I don't believe in fairy tales. Of course, I want to be wrong. Arsenal, though, are keen on signing West Ham skipper Declan Rice this summer, and that would squeeze Xhaka's playing time. Really? I'm not too sure, actually. West Ham want around 120 million for Rice, but Arsenal value him closer to 70, which is about right, really and truly. Like, again, if I'm West Ham, I'm asking for 100 million. Maybe an extra 20 million, 30 could get run in variables, but you're boying it a bit, if I'm honest with you. And it's not Declan Rice's fault. Prices and what a player's worth, the correlation was out the window a long time ago. And I very rarely agree with Gary Neville, but I think he's right in that I love Declan Rice. Obviously, Declan knows the position, but when I look at world-class holding midfielders and players of that type, because he doesn't score or assist enough goals, you're putting him into the category of more of a destroyer. Then you've got to be someone who I think is highly competent on the ball and linking up play, which he is, and having that knowledge of the, I can't say that, of getting on the ball from the back four. I think Declan Rice can do that. I personally feel at this moment in time that Declan needs to go and work under a different setup. I agree. He needs to drive forward in his career. He needs to go and play at a different club. I think there's a lot of growth and a lot for Declan to get up to get up to the levels of Casemiro, Rodri, and players at the top of the game in those positions. But for me, I wouldn't be spending 110 or 120 on Rice if I was Man United this summer. I would spend 50 or 60 on Rice, but I wouldn't spend the figures being reported. Apparently, United are willing to submit 100 million pound bid. And so some reports have said that with Arsenal. Today, it's saying about smash the like button, people. Please smash the like button. And don't forget to hit the like button on our Milan Derby Champions League watch along. Some reports say 75 million. Again, some people say 75 million. The Ben Jacobs of this world, etc., say it could be done for a lot cheaper than being quoted. Now, once again, I don't know how credible the Ben Jacobs of this world are, but nonetheless, with Declan Rice. Declan Rice has become Man United's #1 transfer target in the summer, with Ten Hag set to rival Arsenal, Chelsea and Liverpool for the 100 million rated star. Now, I think you'd be a welcome player to all of those teams, all attractive clubs. You do hear he wants to stay in London. Man United's a historical big club, so I think there's enough attraction there. West Ham do have an option to trigger a 1-year extension, people. The club are beginning, so his contract expiring in 2024 don't really mean much. The club are beginning to come to terms with the imminent loss of their captain. West Ham acknowledge Rice's desire to compete for trophies and play in the Champions League, and the departure of the highly rated player could bring in a windfall of close to 100 million for the East London club. But although Arsenal have been the front runners to sign the England international, as per the Mirror, United could sweep for the player after shooting up in the manager's Eric Ten Hag's self-esteem. So after the Hammers hammered United, he's gone straight up in the rankings, where he done quite well. We all know he put in a great performance. A source close to United camp said Rice's role in handling United the loss had sharpened Ten Hag's interest. Apparently, there's a growing belief that Rice is interested in leaving at the end of the season, and United believe they simply have to ensure he heads north and not to Arsenal or Chelsea. Chelsea probably the biggest issue for all of us, because unlike Arsenal and United, they'll just blow us out the water with money. The club regard him as a player they could potentially build a team around. I've said it before, as great as Casemiro is, if he's going through a loss of form, which he has at a period, if he's suspended, which he has, or if he's injured, United drop down a level, really. You know, they need someone that can play a competitive figure with Casemiro in place of him, you know, because you're looking at Fred and McTominay, and more respectfully to Fred, they can't help United go to where they want to go to. Them sort of players are probably playing a lot more than needed. For Arsenal, we need someone, if Partey isn't fit, we need someone that takes over there. We need someone that could be multifunctional. While I think on current form, you're going to take Partey's spot and play with Xhaka, you might be able to be groomed into that 8 role. But I don't know if you've got the capacity to get goals and assists and all these things, but because we've never seen you in that light, which is nothing wrong. You've got a lot of qualities wherever in Arsenal, really. He has been linked with Manchester City as well, people. So you have to draw whatever conclusions you want to draw in relation to Mr. Declan Rice. Again, West Ham will allow him to leave if they receive an offer of 120 million. They'll also accept 100 million plus a player. And I mean, where Mudryk was concerned and half of these players, when they say Arsenal are confident, we're the most likely destination, I'm not saying it's wrong, but until a man's holding a shirt, anything's up for debate, people. He's rejected 200k a week from West Ham. He's probably going to get something like that. Arsenal, to be fair, other clubs could probably offer you something a lot more than that, if I'm honest with you. So we'll have to see how this develops. West Ham want Jude Bellingham-style money for Declan Rice. Arsenal appear to be Rice's most likely destination, and they are understood to regard a fee of 70 million as far more realistic for the midfielder, which I agree with. And he's not Jude Bellingham. You're a piano pusher. You're not a piano player. Respectfully to him, you know, Jude Bellingham does the wavy stuff. You do the competitive thing, really and truly. But I can't blame West Ham, because crapper players, English players, have gone for a lot more. And I'm not saying anybody is, but in a day and age where one Premier League season, Benjamin White has cost 50 million. Jude Bellingham's been on the scene 5 minutes, costing mad money, you know, really, really and truly. Harry Maguire went for 80 odd. There's a tax for English players. And for someone that's 24 years of age, West Ham captain, played over 200 times, I can't blame them for wanting that sort of fee, really, because he is an England international, potentially one of the first names on the team sheet, really and truly. They're doing a lot, though, if I'm completely honest. And they'll let him go for such. Apparently, West Ham refused to knock down Declan Rice transfer fee despite Arsenal's pressure to cash in on club captain. West Ham are determined to play hardball in securing a British record transfer fee for Declan Rice. Again, this is where it starts to get ugly. Declan Rice might have to burn some bridges and things like that. He's turned down several offers of a new contract and whatnot, people. Apparently, David Moyes has said he's probably the best English midfielder around, and that's why he's going to be extremely expensive if anyone comes calling. I mean, he is going to be extremely expensive, and he's one of the best. But is he better than Jude Bellingham? I firmly believe not. Is he better than Phil Foden if Phil Foden starts? Probably not. Allow it, man. Please stop. But anyways, we at this point we're reading the same old things, people. For what it's worth, even so, their bargaining position would be weakened were Rice to get any closer to the end of his deal, when he could walk away for nothing. And internally, it has been agreed for some time that the 24-year-old will have to be sold this summer to maximize his value. As the summer goes on, they'll probably stop playing hardball. Arsenal, and he probably wants to get his season sorted out, because he's got a Euros to now think about. next year. Arsenal have made Rice their number one target as Mikel Arteta looks to build upon the success of this season's title challenge. Chelsea have held a long-standing interest in a player they released as a 14-year-old, but the Blues will not have the pulling power of the Champions League football next season and other targets as they seek a high-profile signing to play alongside Fernandes, including Caicedo. United and Liverpool have also been long-term admirers, but the latter seem likely to be put off West Ham's price tag, having pulled out of the race for Jude Bellingham for similar reasons. So we'll have to see what's going on there, people, in that regards. But again, Arsenal target excited at the prospect of working under Mikel Arteta, this article says, people. Apparently, Declan Rice wants to do such, people. So we'll have to see. But everybody's going to invent their own rumours. Apparently, Newcastle are preparing an offer for Bayern Leverkusen winger Moussa Diaby. The Frenchman is also a target for Arsenal and Paris Saint-Germain. Bayern Leverkusen want a fee of 60 million euros, which equates to about 50 odd million pounds, really. Fabrizio Romano has said Arsenal and Chelsea are among the clubs following Lavia. Man City are also still really appreciate the player, but there's a buyback clause option for City only valid until 2024, apologies, meaning other clubs can try to attack the situation this summer, especially if and when. Is it now a case of when, people, that Southampton go down? The agent of Sergej Milinković-Savić has been speaking, and he's taken an aim at shameful claims made about the midfielder ahead of another summer of speculation. Now, there has been some rumours he's keen to stay in Italy. He's been linked with Juventus and AC Milan again. There were rumours he turned down and moved to Arsenal in the summer. He's always linked with Arsenal, and probably, if not Arsenal, give or take, Arsenal and Man United, the teams linked with him the most. Whether anyone believes this, can anyone verify this is a real person at this point? For what it's worth, we've spoken many times with the president, deciding that we'll discuss everything at the end of the season, especially now that Lazio need peace. That's why everyone at Lazio must remain united. 4 games remain, and I'm sure they'll play in the Champions League next season. Someone is using harsh words to discuss Milinkovic and his form. They are enemies of Lazio. It's a shame. It's shameful that someone is trying to cause problems and weaken the team. It's true that Sergej is not at his best moment, but over the last 8 years, he's never been below his level. Maybe he don't want to be there no more. He may have had some bad weeks, but at the end of the day, he's just a man who can have highs and lows also in his private life, which is also true. He wants to help the club reach a fantastic target like the Champions League. No one can question his commitment, his loyalty, and his love for Lazio. It's unpleasant to hear stories from people I mentioned earlier about his contract and future daily. So whatever that means, cool story, bro. Ben Jacobs has said Arsenal may also choose to bolster their defence, and Crystal Palace's Mark Guehi is one target. Saliba's injury has shown Arsenal need more quality depth at centre-back. I do think Kirill will be a more important squad player next season. Yeah, of course. No shit, Sherlock. Nonetheless, he's also said Arsenal also haven't ruled out coming back in for Caicedo and are aware of the Mason Mount situation. Real Sociedad's Martin Zubimendi is another name linked. Arsenal have sent scouts to watch him, and the interest is genuine. But to my knowledge, a deal isn't quite as advanced as perhaps has been suggested in Spain at the moment. Make of that what you will, folks. Once again, the Times has said Arsenal want to bring in a premium defender, midfielder and attacker in the summer. Mikel Arteta also wants to improve the depth for the squad, which will also depend on how many players are let go. Can't really count Balogun as part of depth because he weren't here, but if Xhaka, Tierney go, that affects us. Declan Rice is a key target, although he will not come cheap, with West Ham United aware that Bellingham at Borussia Dortmund is likely to cost significantly more than 100 million this summer because he's significantly the better player, or he's a player you pay to watch. You can't, I'm not disrespecting Declan Rice, but you don't pay football to watch Declan Rice. You watch the likes of Jude Bellingham and Foden and these things, even though I think Jude Bellingham, the jury's going to be out for you. Completely off topic, but not West Ham, Arsenal's wage bill is now only the 6th highest in the Premier League after the club successfully shifted off big earners like Aubameyang and Ozil. Hopefully we add Pepe to that. The challenge will be to maintain that approach as Arsenal attempt to juggle their return to the Champions League next season with trying to compete again at the top of the Premier League. As well as rewarding star performers in the existing side, Mikel Arteta has stressed the importance of making quality additions, which would allow for more rotation and less vulnerability to injuries next term. Facts, I don't think anyone could disagree with that. We've seen that. What's this? We've seen that. What's this? We've seen that. We're getting through it, people. Big up you lot. Smash the like button. Keep your comments coming. Arsenal are watching Nico Williams. Again, I just think it's a case of we're looking for wingers. So all the wingers we're going to get linked with, you're going to look at any winger. You're going to look at the situations, who's actually a good player, who's a good player that we can take advantage of a club wanting to sell. This is why you see us linked with Zaha, Nico Williams, Pedro Neto, Rafinha, and there would be all day if we think of all these names. That Torres guy in MLS. I don't really think Nico Williams is messed like that. I think he's a decent player that Arteta could work with and get a trick out of, but 50 million's a bit much, if I'm completely honest with you. Good player, exciting, quite young and raw, but yeah, I don't know for dribbling like Dembele and Mbappe and all these things, but I wouldn't be against it. For what it's worth as well, folks, what's been said here, Dean Jones has spoken. He's spoken on Arsenal and Benjamin White. He said, he's done so well, but I'm still getting assurances that Arsenal do intend to sign a new right back. So we'll have to wait to see the level of player, whether it's genuine competition for that spot that Ben White has been playing in, or if it simply ends up being another backup player or an emerging talent. Bring Fresneda to the carpet immediately. Austrian Trusty is expected to leave Arsenal, allegedly. People make some money, man. Apparently, Charles Watts has said, Trusty has been linked with Rangers. I think Trusty has had some fantastic loan spells with Birmingham this season. He's never played for Arsenal. I don't think he will be surprised if he does. Whether he's part of the US pre-season tour in the summer, we'll see. It might make sense to have Trusty with them for that marketability reasons. But I did an interview with him a couple of months ago, and he was telling me that his dream is to still come back and make a name for himself at Arsenal. But I don't know. You look at the defenders Arsenal have already got. I think they'll probably sign a centre-back in the summer. Will Trusty be part of the long-term future? Probably not. I mean, if you can do your thing, why not? But it's a myth, my guy, man. Really and truly. Now, if we round this transfer news segment of this live stream up, Xhaka has decided to leave Arsenal, allegedly. Barca are willing to sell Rafinha. Juventus have joined Arsenal, Borussia Dortmund and AC Milan in the hunt for Ivan Fresneda, as well as Newcastle United. We're trying to make progress where Saliba's concerned. We're keen on Ferran Torres. We're very close to securing a blockbuster deal for Martin Zubimendi, according to Spanish outlet AS. Nelson's rejected the first offer of a new contract from Arsenal. We're ready to break the bank this summer, allegedly, and Moussa Diaby's a top target. We've been linked with Paulinho. Charlie Patino wants to leave. We're open to Xhaka, Tini, and Balogun offers. We're preparing an offer for Mount. Yeah, Gravenberch, Kante, Zaha, we've covered Victor Rugg. We've covered that many a time, people. So let me know your thoughts and draw your own conclusions there, people. The dream is free, the hustle is sold separately. We are getting to silly season where everybody is going to get linked with everyone. Whether they happen is a completely different ball game, essentially, folks. So yeah, let me know how you feel. Transfer news, let's call it that. Appreciate the what do you even call this again? My mind's gone blank. Donation, my guy. Thank you for that, man. Jay, appreciate that. And like the man said, hit the like button. Xhaka is untouchable. I wouldn't say untouchable, but a player we need to keep, if I'm honest. There's 100 of you locked in on YouTube. There's only 45 likes. Come on, people. What's going on? Stop being lazy. DJ, I'd like to know the 2% that said we shouldn't give Rams an extension. I don't know, man. People are bugging. What a difference a season could make. Last year, we were ready to let Xhaka go, but this year, we're moving different. Unpopular opinion. I think Xhaka's performances, and I'm pretty sure I said it in a vid, if you pre the second half of last season, it started to get there. I do think Xhaka has played bad at times. I don't think he's been terrible all the time. I do think he's been scapegoated a lot. And I do think Arteta has found a way to mitigate against his weaknesses and enhance him. To see Xhaka slide not once, but twice in the box and there was no penalty. Crazy. But what a difference a year can make. Big up DG. Xhaka has been very durable, but I think there are signs that he's slightly losing his powers. I'm sure he's missed more games in the last 2 seasons, probably. But even that, you could probably count on one hand how many games Xhaka's missed. Big up yourself, Diallo. Big up yourself, Frank, for catching the live. DG, what are your thoughts on Diaby as a winger? I like him. I don't think, I'd be more looking at Arteta to get a tune out of him. I like him. I'm not the biggest of fans. I think he's a good player. The man said Ben fake Cobbs chats. Man chats Bear Breeze all the time. Look at Modric. Can't stand people like that. To be fair, he's got to pay his bills, innit? And Arsenal did want, to be fair to him, we did want Modric, but everyone's just talking Savić. I have a feeling Tchouaméni could be available in the summer, especially if Madrid get Jude. Assuming he wants to leave, would you really want to end your Madrid career already? But if he is available, he's someone that we should have bought him when he was at Bordeaux. Declan Rice is the most overrated player in the world. There's hella players that are overrated, a bit harsh to say with him. I don't want a saga. If it's going to be a serious fee, so be it. I don't want to see other teams buying our plan B, C central mids while we divot and haggle over Rice. There's probably a degree of haggling to be done. Hit the like button, show your support for the relentless grind. Gary, elite opinions, and thank you for that. Xhaka's contract expires on the 30th of June 2024 with the club option to extend for 1 year. Bayern Leverkusen will probably not qualify for the Champions League. I think it's Xhaka's agent doing his work. They want a new deal. It could be. What do you think of Partey in the 8 role? Nah, I'm not really for that. You're right, DG. The player's price is determined by the market. It's what you can hustle. No player would sell for 100 million if there was no club willing to pay it. As fans, we need to stop putting our own prices on players. It's gone to silly season. Everyone knows the Premier League clubs have money. That's why everybody's bumping each other. That's why if we try and buy players from abroad, it's mad money. I'd prefer Williams over Rafinha. I hear that. Big up yourself, Simply S4. Shout South London's finest. Smash the likes, people. Get up to 100. Subscribe, road to 100k and join the DG Nation. Blessings to yourself, DS. Why do I think Ben White is a better right back than centre back? I think he's a better right back at this moment in time than centre back. I just think it allows him to do his thing. DG, who would you prefer, Rice or Caicedo? Are you in favour of putting Rice as an 8 and getting another 6? I mean, I'd prefer an out-and-out 6, so I'd prefer an out-and-out 8 and a 6, really. Who that 8 would be, I don't know, but I do think Declan Rice is a bit of a blank canvas, really. I would want to see him play as a 6, but if he can add that 8 to his game, why not? Out of Caicedo and Rice, I change my opinions all the time. Today, I'm feeling like Caicedo. Tomorrow will probably be Declan Rice again. 15 million for Xhaka shouldn't even be an option. Xhaka as backup would be okay. El Nene leaving is fine. El Nene can leave, but I actually want him to hang around like a spare part, if I'm completely honest with you. You know, he's not going to kick up a fuss. He could be, you know, in this last leg of the Premier League season, he could have been used in games off the bench. Just keep him like a, you know, just keep him like a spare part, really. Why do we get taken for mugs when selling players? We nearly showed Xhaka 3 years ago when his stock was as low as it could be. Because we got to get better at hustling, innit? I'll take Chuck Wheezy at Villarreal for right wing back up. He's techie and pacey. I hear it, but I don't know, man. I kind of want someone that's ready now, if I'm honest with you. I'm not really convinced on Chuck Wheezy. I think he's a great player, man. DG, let's be honest, Xhaka, thanks for the memories. If Xhaka leaves tomorrow, we will miss him. I cannot lie to you. Regardless of if we wake up tomorrow and bring in Caicedo and Rice, I'm happy, I'm ecstatic, but you will miss Xhaka. You will miss him. I think he needs to stay for 12 more months, if I'm completely honest with you. Pardon me, elite talking points from you lot. Only option is Xhaka, thanks for the memories. Not really. He's under contract for another year, so there's several options. If the man wants to leave, if any player wants to leave, then fair enough, do what you need to do. Zubamendi, Kim J, Caicedo, Diaby, and Kane. With this addition, we'll lift the trophy next season. But a number of players there look a bit dream chasing. Man said Harry Kane. Now that DG is done reading, let me just say I'm sorry I've been away for a while. Hope you're well. I'm well, and don't apologize for being away, man. You're living your life. YouTube's always here, my fellow. It's always here, my boy. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Williams, I mean, he's a blank canvas. Rafinha is 26. A lot of the things I see in Rafinha's game, 26, 27, you want to be saying about unproven kids, not someone that's cost 50-odd million playing for Barca. No, Xhaka needs to be kept. He's a very important player. Do we really know if Saliba is going to sign? We have to consider he may not. And with his back injury, there's no guarantee he returns to form anytime soon. I'm hoping I'm wrong. Sell price for Saliba, probably about 50 because his contract is running down, really. You're not going to get anything more than 50, maybe 60, assuming you was to sell him now. Hope he does stay. Got every reason to stay. I say that because we're not going to put Saka on the bench given the new deal, and finding a quality backup is going to be hard to find. DG, if you were a coach, what would be your end-of-term report for Saliba, Saka, and Martinelli? Great question, and one that I should really put in a vid. In fact, let me screenshot that. That's a great bit of content. Without getting into details, if I had to give grades, they've all passed with flying colours, man. They've all got A stars. Like, they've all got A stars, really. Saka's bettered his numbers from last year. Martinelli's had his first standout year. Saliba, there's been probably a B, really. No, it's an A. He's been done very well. Couple of edges, but you've come back to the team. Look rough around several edges, but we've come second. They all get A's. Very quality season. To be fair, a lot of players at Arsenal would score A's. You know, Tierney, unfortunately, would probably get a C. Smith Rowe, D/F. Same with Tomiyasu, really. Tomiyasu a D, really, because you locked down Salah. Other than that, let's be real, you've been terrible, really. Be interesting, really. DG predictions for the Milan derby. I don't know, man. I'll give it to AC Milan. I think AC Milan to win 2-1 today. Smash the like button on that as well. AC Milan to win 2-1. But I don't know, man. I don't think it's going to be as good as yesterday, but we hope so. Interesting comments, man. Thoughts on Orban? If you're talking about the lad, nah, he's meaty, man. Trusty for 2 million, considering the season he's had is just pocket change. Amen. Last 50 games, Declan Rice played 35 games as DM, 15 games as centre mid. Whenever I watch him, he seems to play like a DM. I don't know why we think he can play in Xhaka's position. To be fair, he does get forward a lot more, really, as shown when he intercepted Partey against us. Zubimendi requires a release clause, so it wouldn't be tough to negotiate. We need to hold our nerves and not overspend on Rice and Caicedo. I mean, we've kind of shown that rightly or wrongly. Rafinha is kind of overrated, in my opinion. We already have Trossard, Smith Rowe, Nelson, who can do a job. Nelson, we're relying on him to sign a new deal. Diaby is a young French prospect, looks similar to Saka's versatility. I don't know, whoever Arteta wants, man. If you bring Diaby, why not? Do you think we are a victim of our own success with regards to Highlanders wanting to leave? Well, naturally, yeah. Not everyone can make it here, and it's bad. It's good. It's a great time to be an Arsenal player, but it's bad times, you know. Xhaka, everybody's in great form. Players have locked down roles. We're trying to be more competitive. There's going to be less chances for young players. I think Arteta is good for the young players, but he's not exactly on that Mikel Arteta. He's not exactly on that Arsene Wenger stuff where he just giving random guys their debuts and things. There's been, over the past 2 years, more so last year with Patino, 2 years really, the previous 2 years, this not so much this year, with Patino, Amari Hutchinson, Mika Berev, Marcelo Flores, Waters has been on the bench this year on occasion. Koza Dewberry this year as well. How many of them have come off the bench and got minutes? I'm not talking about Juventus in the mid-season, pre-season game, and I'm not criticizing Arteta. But when you're seeing the club's landscape change, when we're becoming a bit more competitive, when the manager ain't really doing the youngster thing like that, you're gonna want to cut out, innit? These young players have to be. I'm sure they all want to make it here, but they have to be selfish. Even if it doesn't work out at a new club, at least you know. Sometimes you're going to have to show patience. But a lot of young academy players, the clubs tell them everything. They stay. At the end of their contract in 3-4 years' time, you're gone, you're done. These players need to be selfish. Balogun, Patinos of this world, they need to be selfish. Do what you can do to be a twice the player a year from now. Minutes are currency, innit? And there's no, of course, there's a bag of things you can learn under Mikel Arteta. There's a lot of things you could learn at Arsenal, but there's nothing else that replicates playing. DJ, I say this all the time on your streams, but I want to see McAllister, Odegaard, Zubimendi midfield next season. Also bringing Gundogan as a squad option. DG, hand on heart, do you think Smith Rowe will make it at Arteta's Arsenal? If so, how? I mean, he already has. He's been given the number 10 shirt and he's shown playing through the tenor off the left, really, with the double figures last year. He's injured at the moment, but I'm not going to turn on UTD or Tomiyasu. I don't know how. You've already done it. You got signed the new deal and got the number 10. But we are ultimately victims of our own success. Even City have managed to bring through 1-2 other players. You know, Rico Lewis has found his way. Foden's found his way. You've got Cole Palmer kind of scratching the surface, but they lost Lavia. You know, they've got an option to buy him back. Unpopular opinion, I more want to buy back closing Patino's contract than Balogun's, if I'm honest, but get in both. You know, Chelsea sold Tammy Abraham. There's an option to bring him back to the Stamford Bridge toilet if they want him. McAllister would be lit at Arsenal. I think Xhaka deserves to at least play Champions League with us. Let's not do him like most. Oh, you're moving mad. You're moving mad. No blasphemy here. Who is most at fault for our season's capitulation, or is it a collective failure? It's a collective failure. There's not one single person. I know people can say, oh, if we played, if Holding ruined our season, there's a correlation with us shipping goals. Yeah, you could say that. But is it Holder's fault? If anything, it's the gaffers, because you've seen this story with him before. And really and truly, people can sit here and focus on the Liverpool, West Ham and Southampton games. In all three of those games, we had enough to win that regardless. We didn't start the Southampton game well. We got shook out at Anfield. You know, we were moving mad against West Ham after thinking we won. And if you go back to the games before, the devil has been there in the details. Ultimately, several things that have led to us dropping points have been there when we've won games, when we beat Man United at home, when we won away from home at Aston Villa, when we beat Bournemouth, when you don't keep clean sheets and take your foot off the gas. And ironically, in our last game, no, not against Newcastle, against Chelsea, conceding a dumb goal for no reason. Brighton away, who ironically we've got on the weekend. Leeds and Crystal Palace at home. These things have cost us. We've made great improvements. So you can't just blame a single person, really and truly. We've done so well this season, but everyone has to take collective blame, in my opinion. I think it's I can't begrudge anyone and everyone's allowed an opinion, but I think it's a very simple way of thinking. If one single person is going to be blamed for Arsenal not potentially winning a league title over a 38-game stretch. Personally. I like Smith Rowe, but apart from a good run of form at the end of 2021 and the beginning of 2022, he hasn't produced much for Arsenal. Xhaka has played Champions League football with us in his first season. Fair enough answer. Personally, I think Smith Rowe has done out here. He's an outstanding talent, but I reckon he's indispensable for Arteta. There might have to be difficult decisions. This guy, you like SMS too much, Sergej Milinković-Savić. What have I said about him? You're doing chattings, man. DG, don't you think Kim Min-jae is a viable transfer? He's lit. I've spoken on him yesterday. I've said everything I could on him. For now, Smith Rowe's a squad player, except a madness, I think you mean happens. I just want Caicedo, Diaby, Rice, Gurhey for the summer transfer window. The rest can happen during the winter window. I just want to feel a lot more comfortable rocking up in the Champions League. Lack of focus and depth with the squad as expected exactly is. And again, we've improved defensively, but we don't respect the art of defending. We started well actually improving defensively, but we concede dumb goals. We switch off on the transition. At times, they just simply been some individual errors. Set pieces have deserted us. I'm not criticizing the club. I'm proud of us, but this has led to our demise, and they've been there when we've been winning. It's only when we're losing now people want to break it down and look at it. It's been there. They have been there. On Xhaka's position, I want to see an agile player like Modric, Camavinga, Bernardo Silva, and Diaz. I don't know about Diaz being in the same realm as them. These guys can make quick turns in tight spaces. I mean, easier said than done. You need to buy the likes of Camavinga before they end up at Real Madrid. The same goes for Bernardo Silva with City, and Luka Modric is Luka Modric. Fantastic player, but they don't make them too often. Would you be happy if we signed Dominic Calvert-Lewin? Not really. But if Arteta wants him, get it done. I mean, he is a different sort of profile. Where I'm concerned is he can't stay fit, can he, really? And we've already got that at our club with a number of players that I've got a lot of time for. So what's the point? Just adding more injury-prone dons. I don't think Tomiyasu needs any more friends in the treatment table. I'm doing Tomiyasu dirty there, but it is what it is, really. Is Tierney much better defensively than Zinchenko? Tierney's way better than Zinchenko defensively in the same way Zinchenko's way better than him going forward. Brings Ubamendi to the carpet, release clause is only 50 million and add Caicedo or Rice to him. I hear that. Elite conversations. I swear Sergej Milinković-Savić is mad overrated. Watch Lazio a few times this season. Man is slow, can't dribble. Mkhitaryan and Barella bullied him last week. There are more younger players, personnel in the game than it was before, so academy players are leaving at a much higher rate. It's happening everywhere. Again, we will lose players again and again and again. It's a losing battle, especially if you keep going to where you need to. And obviously for the Ballagans, for the Paternos, for the Norton Coffees, to a degree, Koza Dewberry, even though Miles Lewis Skelly and Ethan, I got high hopes for them. They're a bit unfortunate in that you can't pick the year you was born. If them man were coming through when generally Joe Willock, Eddie and Nketiah, Saka and Smith Rowe, now Joe Willock and Eddie and Nelson were probably the ones kind of in and around. For years, we ain't been 30. And so it's easy to get chances. Now it's a myth. What's your views on our defensive coach? I mean, I don't know what our specific, if there is a specific defensive coach at Arsenal, I don't know what he's doing. If you're talking about the set piece gaffer, set piece coach, I like him. He's done well. It's deserted us now, but yeah. If Dominic Calvert-Lewin can beat Pep for me this weekend, why? Then he had earned a transfer to Arsenal. It's simple. Just go and beat City this weekend. Everton hype, man. You lot do it. I want to be proven wrong, but there's no way I'm relying on Everton to do anything. It's time to let Nelson go. Swap him plus cash from Matoma, then add more experience like Rice, Diaby, and Gurhey. Can also be a good squad option. I hope Zinchenko was watching Camavinga at left back yesterday. But what helped? Genetics kind of helped Camavinga as well without going into it. But you're right. Why on earth did we suddenly become terrible from corners? I don't know, man. Maybe we thought we've past certain levels defensively. Maybe we've been doing months and weeks of good habits and we thought that were levels and now we're starting to do bad habits. I don't know. But what I do know is until this club respects the art of defending, we will not go to where we need to. We need to love and be waffling about defending as Arsenal fans as much as we're talking about what Odegaard is doing, what Saka is doing, what these guys are doing and all the general play stuff we do going further forward. And obviously Camavinga's a baller for what it's worth. I don't know about that youth from Forest. He can stay where he likes. Ivan Toney's welcome. Mitrovic, in terms of the skill set, is that skill set, not necessarily the player. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, you just can't bet on his fitness. It's as simple as that. 67 likes, people. Come on. And shout out to Toby for the raid. So, yeah, I really don't know, man. Sergej Milinković-Savić is a FIFA signing. I don't think he's as bad as some of you are making out, but he is overrated to a degree in a sense of people put him on a level that he actually isn't because they're probably not watching him. Let's see. Apparently, people, again, journalists make up all sorts of freestylers and lies and things like that. I don't know. It's silly season time where they can get engagements. But in relation to Declan Rice, apparently Dean Jones has said something. He said, I know a few people that know Declan Rice. And everyone knows someone in it. Oh, we go to the same dry cleaners, man. We both got the same barber. I know a few people that know Rice very well. And his first pick all season, his priority has been Arsenal. I mean, that was Mudrik's. How did that work out? And that's true. Arsenal really want Rice, but I don't think Arsenal would pay 120 million for Rice. So unless we negotiate and Edu pulls his finger out, forget it then. He can want us as much as we want him, but we don't front up the bread. It's a myth. Arsenal aren't going to spend that, are they? And I don't think they have the players to offer in the other direction. That's a twist. I mean, what? You don't like Pepe? You don't want Eddie and Balogun in that? Okay. But yeah, I don't know if he's wassing people, but yeah, everybody knows everything these days. Until people are holding scarves, saying, oh my God, I was an Arsenal fan my whole life. I grew up an Arsenal fan. Don't know, man. Genetics is correct, DG. That level of athleticism is not present in Zinni's locker. Nothing wrong with discussing the genetics when it's true and used properly, which is true. And I just feel like, I mean, not to discredit Camavinga because he's doing quite well. There was one time Bernardo Silva span him, but he won the war. When you've got Kroos, Valverde, Modric, Rudiger, Alaba, Courtois, Carvajal, and I don't think Real Madrid get enough praise for how they defend or for how Carlo Ancelotti sets them up. It's a lot easier to run a left back there than when you're us. But you are right. Sell Tierney, Odegaard, Zinchenko, Sambi for Declan Rice. Yeah, blood. I don't know about that one, man. DJ, I rewatched the Newcastle game yesterday. They genuinely wanted to smash us. It's important we won that for now in the future. But they tried to rattle us. They tried to smash us in. You know, Callum Wilson, because he does kickboxing and he's from Coventry, which is a kind of rough area. He's trying to offer Xhaka, like Xhaka's not with it. You know, it's a bit of poetic justice. Newcastle wasted and I don't care about it. We benefited from it. They didn't. Just like at the Emirates. I want my team to waste time and time again. Of course, it's going to frustrate me if we're trying to get in the game, but it comes with it. Newcastle wasted the hell out of time at the Emirates. They're up there for wasting time in the Premier League. I'm sure when we played Newcastle, it set records for the amount of time the ball's been in play. It is what it is. Like Arteta said, if we tried to match them for athleticism, we'll get smoked. So we done what we could. And obviously, we need to waste time. You need to be able to frustrate the crowd. That is what needed to happen at Anfield. That is what needed to happen at West Ham, especially after Liverpool, in my opinion, got the first goal. What do you think about Saka's new contract and wages? Is it legit Saka to be the highest earner? I wouldn't give him more than 200 grand per week. I mean, young IC3 shine and get your P's in it, really. Saka is the poster boy for Arsenal. He's got better year in, year out. Money can affect everyone. And a bit like when Mo Salah had a wobble, people say, oh, money is cashed out. I think he deserves it. Go out there and get the P's. I mean, Callum Wilson does martial arts in it, but Xhaka seems like the mad guys that you have. He's not going down until you've taken every breath out of his body. I rate Rice only for his defensive attributes. Other than that, he's average. But to be fair, there's many of players that are called legends at clubs that were average. While I want everyone to be a star, if you're consistent and competent in your role and confident in that, and you can help us, you can be as average as you want, as long as you give Arsenal something different. Really and truly. Let Callum Wilson get mad, bro. Get him as mad as you want. Get as mad as you want. You know, and you got dickheads like Henry Winter, the writer, you know, when Newcastle did it against us at the Emirates, he came out with some mad think piece. When Arsenal have done it, he's criticised. But that's a weasel who once tried to, let me not get into it, but you lot that follow me on Twitter, man, I was talking my own truth about racism because I replied to his tweet and he was like, ask John Barnes. What does that have to do with it? Like, anyways, a pussy old man. Anyways, Newcastle is ranked second in terms of time wasting. They were mad because they lost. There you have it, and I respect it. Time wasting needs to be done. It needs to be done. City were doing it the other day against Leeds. You saw it with Haaland and Foden not coming out of the corner flag. It's required. Man, he's rattled, man. Xhaka's living rent-free. Rice has scored some bangers. Not sure he's only defensive-minded. But even if he is only defensive-minded, he will give our team something. Let him bring that. Wilson said he's from the streets. Well, you're not from the streets now, are you? You can be from the streets. I got a lot of time for Callum Wilson because, like many footballers, he doesn't forget where he's from. He does a lot for food banks. Obviously, especially Londoners, they all look at Coventry like it's some sneaky place. It gets tough around them sides, and he does Muay Thai. But pardon my language, who gives a flying fuck if you're from the streets? Nobody cares about that. Xhaka don't care about that. Xhaka doesn't know what to talk about. My man's Albanian and that. You think he cares? And even that, it's not to take it there. Who cares? You're from the streets. Do some street shit then. People from the streets aren't going to shout, I'm from the streets, I'm from the streets. Get it popping or shut up. Do him in the change rooms or shut your mouth, Wilson, man. You're just mad because that's the closest you got to Xhaka or Odegaard or Jorginho all game. It's not our fault you couldn't score, you wallad. Shut up, man. Isaac soon take your spot. You think you're going to be there in the next 2-3 years? Say nothing, man. Good that you set up the podcasting. What a chump. Xhaka rattled him. You know how mad it is if you allow Xhaka to rattle you, you're doing something wrong, you know. Let him throw shade. Let him throw shade. Big up Newcastle. Let him throw shade. Even if Newcastle win the league next year, you're not going to be part of it. Let him throw shade. Callum fucking Wilson, you know. Big up Callum Wilson. I'll trade spots for you. You're a Premier League footballer. But Callum bloody Wilson, you know. One little England cap and he's talking like this. Eddie Howe's giving some duds football. When last did you score against Arsenal? He's rattled. He ain't scored in 8-9 games against us. He thought he was going to do the same thing he did against Spurs. Shut your mouth. Players like, bro, time wasting is required. It's required. It's like being in a boxing match and your opponent's thumping you up. You got to grab him every now and again, innit? It is what it is. He's just chatting, man. He's just chatting. He's a bum. Chatting. Just chatting. Shut your mouth, Callum Wilson, man. You're a Bedino, man. Shut up, man. Talking like one yatty, man. Come on. If you wanted to do it in the change room, get it popping or leave it, man. It's football. I'm from the streets. Like, big multi-million pound footballer. Millions of people watching the game. In a professional environment, I'm from the streets. Man, shut the fuck up, man. Who gives a crap, man? To be fair, Xhaka versus Wilson would be a good fight. My man does martial arts, I can't lie. Dan Burn's a real one. Dan Burn said it. You know, he said it. He said it happens. We did it. They do it. And he said it, and it's right. He actually said, Dan Burn actually said, it tells you how far we've come, that Arsenal have come here to waste time. That's true. That's a real warrior. It is what it is. So what? We don't waste time. We're naive and people get onto us. Still hopes for the title. My hopes are gone, in it. But as long as it's mathematically possible, fight to the very end. 82 likes. We're almost at 100 people. Don't forget to smash the like button on the stream later today. We're watching AC Milan Inter. Who cares what Wilson has to say? I'm not trying to be rude, but no one asked you about you being from... Exactly. Anyone really from the streets? Are they going to tell you that at the first occasion? Xhaka's probably looking like, the hell you talking about, man? Now, people are doing too much with Zini, man. We have a better defense. If we have a better defensive side, Zini doesn't get exposed as much, which is facts. It's true. Yeah, man. You're rattled. That doesn't mean nothing. That doesn't mean anything. Streets hype. Last time I checked, unless you live on a bloody island like Avatar or something, we're all from the streets. Then you leave your door, you leave your house. Is there not a street? What are you talking about, man? Got scared, bro, because Duppy know who to frighten, man. They know who to try stuff to, but forget this Sesame Street pussy, old man. Big up yourself, Callum Wilson, man. I hope you're there. Make sure you're there in the next 2-3 years, you know, because Rafinha's getting linked with Newcastle. Diaby's getting linked with Newcastle. A couple other 6 strikers are getting linked with Newcastle. Make sure you're rolling, you know. Make sure you're involved. That's all I hope for you. Make sure you're involved. Make sure you last the duration at Newcastle. Make sure you last. Prick. Who do you support, though, AC or Inter? Bro, they ain't nothing to do with me. They can do what they want, man. Just going to enjoy a good game of football. Nice to have you back, fella. Callum was one of the guys who tried to rob... you're moving mad. Moving mad from the streets. You ain't from the streets, bro. You're in the higher... You're not anymore. Like, the whole point, even if you're from the streets, is to get out of it. Like, you're one of the highest tax bracket now, earning a lot. You're a professional footballer. Less on that, man. Allow it, man. Well, like, what were you meant to do? You know, Xhaka meant to crumble. Maybe if you try that stuff with Emil Smith-Rowe or something, you might get a different result, but not with Granit, mate. Not with Granit. Not with Granit. And this is why Arsenal need to start smashing people in, you know. You see, Partey, if you did what you needed to do against Victoria Beckham, a.k.a. Jack Grealish, who was trying to do a madness to you, I don't think Callum Wilson gets that confidence. But less said, the better. Now, Coventry, there's some gritty sides of Coventry, though. Don't ever sleep on it. Don't forget that. Forget that. Callum Wilson's a good player. Just shut up, man. Shut up, Wilson, man. Shut up, man. In a day and age where, again, let's be honest, where black and mixed race footballers, that is the first thing in a day and age where if I score a goal and I do that, they're saying you're in the gang. Is it smart to come out here and talk about streets and all this bullshit? Shut your mouth, man. Absolute wallad. Absolute wallad. I don't really get annoyed by things, but senseless. And that's how you know. I'm sure Callum Wilson had to be embarrassed of himself. You know, embarrassed. I'm sure you've done things for charity. He had to be embarrassed when he calmed down. But that's how you know Donny was rattled. But honestly, less of that. We could see a mass clear out of the under-21s level. You're right, a number of them. You know, Flores probably stays on loan again. Beref probably goes on loan again. Don't know what the future holds for Kiddo Taylor Hart. Ferran half of them will go on loan again. And there'll be a couple of releases. Oh, who cares if you're from the streets? Like, but forget all of that, man. 10 more likes if we have 100. Forget all of that, man. Let's leave him to one love for resubscribing, V. Leave him to be one of them guys on the streets, man. He's moving like that hold me back watch when I see in the carpet. Exactly, and I hate them guys because when you actually activate in the carpet, oh, it's just football, man. All right, man, he's talking, man. I don't know, man. I don't big up Mickey Antonio, but I don't give a crap about their podcast, man. You look gonna have to go find that, man. You look find that. You can be from the streets, but right now you're a professional footballer and you didn't bring nothing. What did you do? You think Eddie Howe, your manager, gives a crap if you're from the streets? Let's go and score. Nah, it's a good podcast. But fuck them. Like, pardon my language, what can you say? Allow it, man. But Granit, how far have we come though, people? Granit, you used to be the one getting rattled, is the rattler. I love Granit's mentality. There's sometimes where I'm like, is he going to kick off again? You saw it against City. You kind of saw it against Newcastle. Even in fact, against Newcastle, with several of the Newcastle players, you could see Xhaka fighting with himself. You could see Xhaka fighting like, oh, I'm a new person. I've changed. And like the devil on his shoulder is saying, just get onto him. Like, I don't know, man. Big up Granit though, man. Changed, man. He's rattling people. He's sliding in the box not once but twice and winning the ball. It's crazy, man. It's crazy what Mikel Arteta is doing. Miracles are being done at this club. Yeah, the treatment table. Them dons that say I'm from the streets. Callum Wilson definitely has an older brother. His older brother's probably the one that really did that. For anger problems. Whatever Xhaka has done in his personal life or on a football pitch, big up to you and long may it continue. Only if you stay at Arsenal, though. If you go anywhere else, then I want them to suffer the old Granit, really. We've come a long way, us Granit supporters, man. I remember there's a video on AFTV, and I'm very angry when I went on there. I'm very angry about the way they titled it, because it's not exactly what I said. You know, I was at the Crystal Palace game with Granit, and I said the fans need to. I said in the vid, and I said in other vids on my channel that I think Xhaka isn't right or wrong. Neither are the fans. If you tell a man to fuck off, he can say fuck off back. Don't think you could talk to someone any sort of way just because you're a fan and paying to watch the game. He wears his heart on his sleeves. It can't have been nice to have been booed. Let's be honest. There was times where Xhaka made plenty of mistakes, but he was one of them guys where you're just scapegoated. Even William got that towards the end, really. And I said, you know what? Enough's enough. It has to end. But the way that video is shaped is like I said, it's all Xhaka's fault. But you know how them engagement platforms go, man. DJ Spin and Win It. Life took an unfortunate turn, but love, blessings, and mental health to you. Right back at you, man. Hope you're all right. Anyone wishing different, unexpected high bills to them, amen. It takes a hell of a lot of inadequacy to replace Xhaka. Won't be easy. We need to be careful. The funny thing is, Xhaka's brother got sent off that weekend. Yeah, I saw it. I mean, well, he got sent off. Then the ref said, come back on. Then he got a straight red rather than 2 yellows. Xhaka is about to complete the season without a red card or suspension. Mikel really brought out the Xhaka we never knew we had. I do think even Xhaka's indiscipline was overstated. Man moved like every 5 games. He's getting sent off and losing his head. And his wife and daughter getting threatened. Anyone that does that's a pussy. Like, it's gone beyond football. Definitely anyone threatening women and kids is on the next thing, innit? Like, we all have to accept in life constructive criticism. Anyone doing the scapegoating, going at family, doing, you know, the sneaky stuff on social media, what we see nowadays, DMing and doing all that mad stuff. Everybody here does not advocate that. And if you are here and you do that, you need to have a long, hard look at yourself, really and truly, man. Fans do it all the time. Rob Holding's kind of become a scapegoat where obviously we know he's not good enough, you know. United with some of their fans. Everybody does it, really. Davison Sanchez was moved to tears for Spurs. Every football fan does it, and it's unfortunate, really. Because at fundamental level, unfortunately, football is an emotional sport. And a lot of people don't like to be wrong. I'm sure many Arsenal fans that didn't have time for Xhaka are cool with it. But there's probably 5%, 2%, 3% that don't really care what he's doing this year, to the point where they're robbing themselves of what they can see directly in front of them, because in 2017 they said, I don't think Xhaka is good enough. Football proves a lot of people right and wrong all the time. And if you're doing any of that, it's crazy. To be fair, Willian deserved it. He didn't deserve it, bro. He didn't deserve it. He never deserved. No, not a single player deserves abuse. Keyword abuse. You deserve boos. You deserve constructive criticism. In the same way fans can cheer, you can boo. Booing is cool. He didn't deserve anything else that went that really and truly. And again, you knew William weren't going to come here with fire in his belly. So my gaffer needs to pattern up. Nobody deserves abuse. Not one person. And for football, for kicking a football about, really, for kicking a football about. Football means the hell of everything to me. I'm here waffling every day about football. But really, football, for kicking a ball, for not getting a result, people deserve abuse. Fair enough, man. You lot are revealing yourselves still. And that's the thing. These lot won't say it in person. Someone like Xhaka, people chat nonsense. The minute they see him, oh, Xhaka, they're moving like groupies, really and truly. Like they're just like little girls who have just seen Draco. Like, oh, Xhaka, let me get a picture. Come on, man. It's sneaky. By all means, criticize, boo, have your opinions. But the minute it goes beyond that and something more sinister, not a single person deserves that, man. It's not right. It's not going to stop, though. And it is what it is in that regards, really and truly. It's shameful, man. And it says a lot more about the person. Now, the social media thing, I don't know, innit? Like, I find it mad weird that you're going to, whether it's racial abuse, whether it's, whatever, you're just going to go and DM someone a million things. And it's quite sad, because we've never been more closer to footballers in this day and age. Like, provided they're on their phone, you could tweet a question to a footballer and they could answer. Maybe that sort of link has kind of been a double-edged sword. In my opinion, Willian's time at Arsenal wasn't that bad. He wasn't the player we needed, but we had a few good performances. I remember the 2-1 home loss to Wolves. He was our best player where everyone was ish. There was a lot of time he got scapegoated, and big up him for, what was it? Again, ironically, was it not against Fulham where he got the assist? But we all knew it wasn't going to bang. Hope Xhaka doesn't leave the club. If we get a quality midfielder in the summer, we need him for squad depth. I agree. If Xhaka wants to cut, then he's going to have to cut in it, really. But pardon me, it depends what a lot of players are doing. And I mean, Xhaka has to have thought about it. He's been here since 2016. Yeah, the booing thing, you can boo as much as you want. You can boo. You can boo. The minute it goes beyond that, and to be fair with Xhaka and the Crystal Palace thing, let's be honest, that was a melting pot. That was just, it came to its head. Exactly. It's just a job in the end, man. And not a single player is going out there to fail on purpose, really and truly. Like, man, make mistakes. Like, some of you will get onto Xhaka, the old Xhaka, for making mistakes, and some of you are on your third warning at your job because you can't fucking do what they're telling you to. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, man. It's mad, man. It's absolutely mad. But on that note, though, people, we've been here for an hour and 8 minutes. I can't lie. My belly is talking to me. It's time for me to get my lunch, my second meal of the day. I appreciate you lot's donations, your talking points, your difference of opinions, providing info, smashing the like button, subscribing, and all of that stuff. I'll see you lot at Football Manager crew, Twitch ones. I'll see you at 4:30. 7:50, we're going to be watching the Milan derby. Smash the like button, people, once again on this video and on that. I'll put the link in there. Most importantly, stay blessed, stay safe, appreciative of you lot rocking with my content and even the banter and whatnot. But for now, one love.
There's always just that active red light, defending. I think it's like... There's always just that active red light, defending. I think it's like...